All right. All right. Thank you all so much for coming. For those of you that don't know who all of us are, I'm Mrs. Huff. This is our translator, Miss Nayeli. I'm sure you've probably seen her around. This is our Dean of Academics, Mrs. Spanbauer, our Dean of Operations, Mrs. Schumacher, our Dean of Students, Mrs. Lassoff. Mr. Raim over here is our IT guy, and Mrs. Wages is our school engagement specialist. So just so you know who all of us are. So again, thank you all for coming. We're going to go through a lot of information, and then at the end, we're going to answer some questions, and then we have some tables that we've set out to answer more specific questions. But this is, yes, I pressed record. This is kind of our roadmap for your child to be successful here at RCSA. So the first one is, are you connected on Class Dojo? This one's really important because that's going to be your main form of communication. A few notes about this. Only custodial guardians can be connected on Class Dojo, and that part's really important. And some family members get really upset because they're the stepfather and they've been with that child forever, but unless they're listed as custodial because of the nature of the information shared, we cannot add them. However, if you're the custodial guardian and you would like to share those credentials with that person, that's totally up to you. We just can't from our end add them. Sorry, I'm throwing a lot of information out there. Go ahead.
Hola padres y familias, bienvenidos. Yo soy una de las maestras que trabaja aquí, soy la traductora. Antes que todo, muchas gracias por venir. Hola Alexa. Muchas gracias por venir, gracias por tomarte su tiempo para venir. Para los que no conocen, bueno, yo soy una traductora aquí en la escuela. Mi nombre es Miss Nayeli. Ella es la principal de la escuela, Miss Huff. Ella es la de la academia de la escuela. Ella se encarga de las notas, de la educación de los hijos. Ella es Miss Schumacher. Ella es la que me ayuda a operar todo. Y ella es Miss Lassoff. Ella es la que se encarga de la disciplina. Atrás tenemos a Mr. Raim, que es el de la tecnología. A Miss Wages, que se encarga de hacer actividades para los estudiantes, para las maestras. Todos trabajamos como un equipo. Lo más importante, que era lo primero que ella estaba mencionando, era lo que es Class Dojo, que todos deberían de estar. Hemos puesto mesas para el final, para si tienen cualquier pregunta, cualquier duda, voy a estar yo para poderles traducir. Y lo más importante es que en Class Dojo solo pueden estar padres legales de los estudiantes. Hay veces hay padrastros que quieren estar conectados. Si no es su padre legal, no puede estar conectado. Solo padres pueden estar conectados por la información que es transmitido por esa página web.
Sorry. You're good. So the other part is, are you receiving the Rocket Reader newsletters? So those go out every single weekend, and a lot of the information is redundant, and that's done purposefully. So then that way, when it doesn't relate to you, it's on the bottom. So you don't need to worry about it. Most of the new information, it's towards the top of that newsletter. But if one day you're like, well, I really need extended day now, that information is always in the newsletters. I need to check my child out early. Where's that link at again? You can always go back to that newsletter, but then the new information is always going to be up top. So that part is really important. So if you're not receiving those newsletters, please see me after this and make sure that I have your preferred email addresses, and you can put as many family members on that as you would like. If you want aunt and uncle and grandma and grandpa, because that is not specific information to any student, it is just school information.
El número 2, que todos estén conectados en lo que es RCSA, RCSA Weekly.
Rocket Reader Newsletter.
Ok, se llama RCSA Rocket Reader Newsletter, que es un correo electrónico que los sábados en la mañana y está en toda la información que van a necesitar, lo que es Extra Day, lo que es hacer pagos. La información que sale nueva siempre va a estar arriba, la información que ya ha estado anteriormente va a estar hasta abajo, ahí van a poder encontrar todo para hacer citas para sacar a sus estudiantes temprano de la escuela, si necesitan hacer una oficina de la oficina, todo va a estar ahí en ese correo electrónico.
So the second piece is going to be, have you logged into Clever successfully and been able to access all of RCSA's online resources? This is really important. That is like step one when it comes to your child's academics. They are not going to be able to access their homework if they haven't successfully logged into Clever, which they should have already done, and access those online resources. So if you are unable to do that, or you don't know where those credentials are from back to school orientation, please see us after this so we can help with that.
Lo tercero más importante es una página web que se llama Clever, que es una página que usa la escuela para que su estudiante complete todas sus tareas. Ahí es lo que está, lo que es iReady, AR, están todas las páginas para que ellos completen su tarea de online. Si no están conectados o no tienen acceso a eso, es muy importante que cuando terminemos la presentación venga una de nosotros y nosotros le vamos a ayudar.
So the next part is checking our CSA Connect. Our CSA Connect is our home base. That is where you're going to access all of your students' assignments, their grades, the resources, attachments, rubrics, all of it. So you're first going to log into Clever, and from Clever, you should be able to access our CSA Connect, which again is your home base. It's like a live grade book and agenda, all of your students' assignments. You never have to contact the teacher and say, what is the homework this week? It's always going to be posted on our CSA Connect by Monday morning for that week.
CSA Connect es otra página web que la escuela usa. Pueden acceder ahí a través de Clever. Va a estar escrito toda la tarea de su estudiante, así que no le tienen que mandar un mensaje a la maestra preguntando, oh, ¿cuál es la tarea? Porque ahí va a estar y la fecha de vencimiento cuando tienen que entregar la tarea.
The next thing, you'll always click on iReady every single week. Your child will have iReady math homework and iReady reading homework. So it's also really important that you know how to check the minutes and how many lessons passed. And we'll get to that part in just a minute.
iReady también es otra página web que usa la escuela que a través de Clever pueden tener acceso ahí. Ahí todos los días es necesario que se metan porque tienen que completar 45 minutos de matemática y 45 minutos de lectura. Y más después de la presentación vamos a entrar más en detalles profundos.
Next, you'll want to make sure that you're logging into Accelerated Reader after you and your child, or if you have an upper grade level child, if after they have read a book on their own, you'll log into Accelerated Reader, and they're going to take at least a quiz a week on Accelerated Reader. So that would be the next step.
Otra página web que la escuela usa para completar tareas es lo que es AR, que es Accelerated Reader. Después que terminen de leer un libro, los pequeños pueden leer el libro con sus padres, los niños más grandes ya pueden leer el libro solo. Es muy importante que una vez a la semana tomen un examen a través de AR.
The next is, are you familiar with the STEM projects? And that again is something that we'll go over in more detail later. Your child will have a STEM project every single quarter, and it will have a reading component, a math component, and a science component.
Cada trimestre en la escuela, hay cuatro trimestres en la escuela. Cada trimestre van a tener una tarea que se llama STEM Project, que es un proyecto muy importante y vale bastante puntos para la calificación de su estudiante.
And last, if you've gotten to that point, but you're having problems with any of those areas or any of our online resources, the best route is not to tell this person or tell that person or post it on Facebook. The best thing to do is go right to the newsletter, schedule a tech talk. It's always in the newsletter. We've posted on Dojo a few times. Anytime after a full technology presentation, we post it too. Schedule that tech talk. You can choose the date and time, and then one of us will meet with you one-on-one, and you can also request a translator, and we can troubleshoot. So if it's a credential issue, a technology issue, whatever it is, we can help with that. Just schedule that tech talk.
Lo otro más importante también es que si tienen alguna pregunta, alguna duda, no entienden algo, es muy importante que se contacten en los correos electrónicos que mandan semanalmente a la escuela. A través de ahí pueden hacer una cita para un Technology Talk, que es una charla sobre la tecnología que usa la escuela, porque usamos bastante tecnología, y también ahí pueden pedir un traductor. Yo siempre estoy disponible aquí en la escuela para poder traducirle. Es muy importante que se comuniquen con los que son las de administración.
So we're just going to go through each one of those items briefly. And again, if you have more specific questions or you're having a specific problem with any one of those, we'll be over here to help you individually. But first is Class Dojo. This is how you will stay in the loop with your child's teachers. You'll also see positive and negative points popping up. If you're seeing negative points, try not to panic. If it's to a point where the teacher has concern about that negative behavior, they're going to reach out to you and let you know, hey, this is out of the ordinary to have this many negatives. Let's meet up and have a conference. But otherwise, kids are going to display negative behaviors. that dojo is a reminder for them to get back on track. So try not to panic just because you see 1 or 2 negative dojos. What we typically tell parents, if under 3 in a day, that's okay. If it's over 3 and excessively, consistently more than 3 in a day, then you probably do want to reach out to that teacher, or that teacher has probably reached out to you. And something really important, administration does not receive dojo messages. So if you need to get in touch with Mrs. Lassoff, Mrs. Schumacher, Mrs. Spanbauer, or myself, please make sure that you shoot us an email.
Una de las páginas que usan, que la mayoría de ustedes ya está conectado, es lo que es Class Dojo. En Class Dojo los estudiantes reciben puntos positivos o negativos dependiendo de su conducta. Lo más importante de aquí es que a veces va a haber tal vez un mensaje que su estudiante recibió un dojo negativo. No se preocupe, no entre en modo de pánico. 3 negativos que agarren un día es considerado normal. Solo un recordatorio para el estudiante que por favor que se comporte bien en la clase. Algo muy importante es que administración no recibe los mensajes de Class Dojo. Si ustedes se quieren comunicar con lo que es administración, tienen que mandarle un correo electrónico directamente. Típicamente, si ustedes están preocupados porque ven que su estudiante está recibiendo muchos negativos, ustedes le pueden mandar un mensaje a la maestra, o muchas de las veces la maestra personalmente le dice, oye, mira, me gustaría platicar contigo, tu hijo se está comportando mal. Entonces, pero es la comunicación de entre usted, de padre, con la maestra.
I missed one thing, I'm sorry. So the other thing is, Class Dojo is used during extended day as well. And a lot of parents will ask, do they count together? They're 2 separate. So the school day dojos are separate from the extended day dojos. And if your child is in an extended day and they're getting negative dojos that they don't typically get during the school day, that's because they've been here a long time. And that's somewhat normal. So just keep that in mind. Don't be too hard on them.
Okay, otra cosa que se le olvidó ya mencionar fue que Extended Day, el programa del cuidado de la escuela después de la escuela, también usa Class Dojo. So, si su estudiante está ahí, puede ser que en Extended Day reciban más negativos que positivos, típicamente porque su estudiante ha estado aquí desde casi las 7 de la mañana. Eso ha sido un largo día para ellos. So, su comportamiento está un poco, pues, muy activo, pero son completamente separados lo que es la escuela y lo que es Extended Day.
Again, with the Rocket Reader newsletters, if you're not receiving them, please let me know. I always post the link to the Rocket Reader newsletter as well every week in Dojo. And we say all the time, if you're not hearing from us, you're hiding from us. We want to get that information across any way that we can. We also use the Remind app, and information about that is in the newsletter. So if you want to receive text messages, you can subscribe to that Remind app if you want to get 42 notifications in a day.
La escuela es muy positivo en lo que es comunicación con los padres. En el Rocket Reader Newsletter que salen todos los sábados en la mañana, yo personalmente los recibo. Si no están conectados y no lo están recibiendo, es que tal vez ustedes están escondidos de nosotros. Entonces, por favor, se comunican con nosotros si no están en la lista y no están recibiendo los correos electrónicos.
Okay, so Clever. The point of Clever is that students only have to log in 1 time and they're able to access all of their online resources. This is a really useful tool because if you just Google Accelerated Reader, you're probably not going to find our URL. It's specific to our CSA Elementary. So the credentials won't work if you just Google Accelerated Reader. But if you're logging in through Clever, you know you're getting to the correct website. Same with our CSA Connect. If you just Google our CSA Connect, you could end up at the Middle High website. So you want to make sure that anytime your child logs into any of the online resources, that they're doing so through Clever.
Lo que estábamos hablando anteriormente, Clever es la página web que la escuela usó de inicio, y aquí ellos tienen acceso a todo lo que es CSA Connect, iReady, AR. Más que todo, nos gusta usar Clever porque ahí solo tienen que buscar Clever y típicamente lo va a llevar directamente a lo que necesita llegar, porque si pone en internet CSA Connect puede ser que termine en lo que es la high school, o lo que es la secundaria, o en otro CSA Connect. Es muy importante que usen esta plataforma. Okay.
So K through 3 students will receive a Clever badge, which makes it really easy to log in because your student can just click on that Clever badge login, hold up their badge, and they're logged in. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, and you're not screaming, hit the shift, hit the shift. However, 4th and 5th, they do have to log in by typing in their credentials. If you ever lose that Clever Badge login though, you can still log in using the credentials. But what we recommend as a parent, when you get that Clever Badge or when you get those credentials, snap a picture on your phone so you have it forever. And when they come home from school and say, I've lost it, I don't know where it is, I guess I can't do my homework. Oh yes, you can. I have it right here on my phone, guys.
Una de las cosas que estaba compartiendo como padre es que a veces, bueno, de kinder a tercer grado todos les dan un código y entonces aprietan aquí, aparece una cámara y lo ponen en la frente y ellos pueden acceder a la página web. Pero a veces llegan a casa, hoy lo perdí, no lo encuentro, entonces no voy a hacer tareas. Entonces lo que ella recomienda es que como uno como padre le tome una foto con su teléfono y después usted puede acercar su teléfono a la cámara y puede acceder a la página web. Lo que es cuarto y quinto grado, ellos sí tienen que poner su contraseña y su usuario.
Okay, so once you're logged into Clever, you can go to our CSA Connect. You will want to check each subject area, and that's the biggest mistake that parents make, is they log in and they see that dashboard. It'll show you across the top reading, math, science, PE, art. You can ignore PE and art. They're not going to have homework in PE and art. They do put grades in, but they're participation grades. It's not like they're going to have homework, but you will want to check the other subject areas. The biggest mistake parents make is they'll only check one subject area, or they won't scroll down to that current week. But this is where you're going to view assignments, download and print anything that needs printed. That's where the STEM project rubric is going to be found. You can run a progress report anytime you want from our CSA Connect. If you create the parent account, you'll get an email every Saturday, but you don't have to wait till Saturday to get that. You can run a progress report anytime that you want. We request that our teachers get grades in a week from the due date. So all homework is due on Monday. By that following Monday, the teacher should have entered any of those grades. And so you should always be pretty up to date if you're checking our CSA Connect.
CSA Connect es otra base de estudiante que la escuela usa y donde van a poder ver todas las tareas. Cuando ustedes entren van a ver lo que es, pueden ver arte, educación física, matemáticas, ciencias, lectura. Lo que es educación física, arte, pueden ignorar, ahí le van a dar calificación, pero solo es por participación, nunca van a tener tarea. Ya en lo que es matemáticas, ciencias, inglés, lectura, ahí sí van a tener tarea, entonces pueden apretar, pueden ver las notas de su estudiante, y si van hasta abajo van a ver la semana y ahí va a estar toda la tarea que el estudiante tiene que completar. La escuela es bien estricta con las maestras que si la tarea se venció el lunes, tienen hasta el próximo lunes para entrar a la calificación, así que ustedes pueden estar al pendiente de cuál fue la nota que su estudiante recibió en la tarea.
And that's what the top of your dashboard is going to look like. So you're going to make sure that you click into English Language Arts, which is reading, math, and science. Scroll down to that current week, and what you are looking for as a parent is anything that says HW for homework. The CWs, they're going to do in class. The PBAs, those are quizzes they're going to do in class. SBAs, those are tests that they're going to do in class. But anything that has HW or homework next to it, that's going to catch your attention because that's something that needs to be taken care of at home. Homework is all new homework comes out on Monday and it's due by the following Monday or Sunday night. Stand by, we're slacking.
Esto es más o menos una idea de cómo se va a ver cuando ustedes se metan aquí. Van a ver lo que es arte, inglés, matemáticas, educación física. Educación física y arte se pueden ignorar, matemáticas, inglés, ahí sí se pueden meter. Cuando se meten les va a aparecer una lista larga de toda la tarea, entonces van a ver aquí arriba va a estar la fecha y entonces aquí va a estar. Lo que es importante que lean es lo que va a decir HW o va a decir homework. Esa va a ser la tarea que el estudiante tiene que completar para esa semana, que es lo que es más importante de tener acceso a esto. Okay.
So on that dashboard, if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see this. You can ignore that almost. The part that's really important is missing. So if you check this on a Wednesday and your child has a 1 under missing, click on that 1 because it's going to show you what that missing assignment is. And that's really important because our school-wide grading policy for late work is that they have 1 week to receive half credit, but after a week, they cannot receive credit for late assignments. So if you're checking it on a Wednesday and it was something that was due on Monday, you can still have them do it and get it turned in on Thursday to at least receive half credit. But if you wait beyond a week of its due date, it cannot be made up. So that missing button is really important.
Cuando bajan más en lo que están van a estar las clases arriba, cuando bajen más aquí van a poder ver las tareas, están missing, es que les hace falta algo, cualquier tarea que recibieron menos del 70% y tareas que van a venir próximamente. Lo que pueden bajar más abajo donde dice progress report, ahí pueden ir viendo el progreso de su estudiante, cuál es la nota que tienen hasta ese momento y les va a aparecer así, aquí va a estar la nota, va a estar por ejemplo en lo que es inglés un 100, matemáticas 99 y ahí van a ir viendo cada trimestre cuál es la nota que están recibiendo. El que es más importante es el que dice Messi, que es la tarea que les hace falta. La escuela tienen una semana para poder entregar la tarea, pero les dan la mitad de la calificación, que es un 50%. Después de una semana no se recibe tarea que fue entregada tarde.
So the other thing that's really important is being able to run a progress report. So under progress reports there, when you click on progress reports and then click generate, it's going to generate this beautiful academic summary. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's going to generate this academic summary. At the top, it's just going to show you what this looks like, what they have for each subject area. But when you scroll down, it's the full academic summary. So I can see multiplication quiz on numbers 0 through 3, 60%. I can see specific assignments and grades. So then you're very much in the know as to how your student is performing. And she already got me on that one, so.
Ella volvió a repetir lo que era eso que yo le había traducido.
All right, this one is really important. This is what iReady looks like. And if you've already logged in and done this, this should look very familiar. Your student should be completing a minimum of 45 minutes of reading and 45 minutes of math every single week. And that's for the entire school year. The good news for you as a parent is it's really easy to get your child onto this program, and then you need to leave them alone. This is the one program that we're going to ask you, parents, hands off, do not help them. Because what it does is they take that diagnostic assessment and it creates a learning path for them. When they start passing lessons, it's going to level up to where they should be. If you are helping them with assignments, it's going to level up on them, and then they're going to become very frustrated. Because when they fail a lesson, it reteaches that lesson until they pass it. So if they haven't really mastered that standard, we don't want it to be leveling up on them. We want it to reteach, and we want them to do it again. I'll let you do that much so far.
Esto es lo que se ve más o menos iReady, tal vez para unos padres familiarizados ya con la página de iReady. En iReady lo que es muy importante, como estamos en los 45 minutos, y en esta página sí no nos gusta pedirle a los padres que le ayuden a su estudiante con la tarea, porque esto está diseñado para su estudiante, principalmente para la educación que su niño necesite. Ahorita esta semana en la escuela hemos estado tomando un examen, tal vez me han comentado que han tenido un examen en lo que es iReady, porque es diseñado para ellos específicamente. Entonces, si usted le está ayudando a pasar la lección, en realidad su estudiante no está aprendiendo y después se va a frustrar porque le va a ir avanzando y él no está avanzando personalmente porque usted le está ayudando. So, en esto sí pedimos que por favor no les ayuden y que dejen que ellos solitos vayan aprendiendo porque esta página les enseña a ellos.
So when they log in, you're going to get that reading and math screen. And again, you're going to want to make sure that they get 45 minutes of reading, 45 minutes of math, so you can kind of work that out how you want them to get that done throughout the week. And then if they have teacher assigned lessons, it's going to look like that. Otherwise, the lessons are just going to be starting on the other side of the screen. So you will want to pay attention in our CSA Connect. Does it say to do the teacher assigned lesson first? Because if it does, make sure they do that teacher assigned lesson first. And it will usually, if it's teacher assigned, have a due date over here. So make sure you pay attention to those teacher assigned ones as well, because they are usually a standard that the teacher is currently teaching in the classroom, and they want that extra practice being done at home. But what's important for you as a parent to know is how to check their progress on here. So if you click on My Progress, this screen is going to pop up, and it will show you how many minutes they have done for the week and then how many lessons passed. And if you click on completed work, you'll see something like this here on the bottom right. It says completed work, and you'll be able to see the lesson and what they scored. There's a couple of things that are important about that. One, they all have a quarterly goal for how many lessons they should pass, and that is according to iReady, in a quarter. And we do a halfway grade and an end of the quarter grade, just like AR, for that. So if they need to complete 8 lessons by the end of the quarter, halfway through the quarter, they need to finish at least 4. So if they only have to do 45 minutes, but they didn't finish all 4 lessons, they're going to need to do more than 45 minutes. So if you have a student that's a little bit of a slower worker, they may have to do a little bit more. And on the flip side of that, I have both ends of the extreme. If you have a student that works quickly, they may finish the lessons, but not have all the minutes. So we want them to have both. We want them to have at least 45 minutes and at least have that minimum lesson passed. So that is how you're going to check. And this is a really good report to run too, just so you have an idea of how they're doing. Phonics lesson A, 50%. Phonics lesson A, 40%. Phonics lesson A, 30%. If you're seeing that, don't do it for them, but sit down with your child while they're going through the lesson. Are they not paying attention? Are they just clicking on answers, or are they really just not understanding that concept yet? So that's an important one to be looking at, is their completed work and how they're scoring on that. Sorry, that was a lot.
That's fine. I know how iReady works. So. En iReady, vamos a explicar más a profundo. Cuando ustedes se meten a la página, siempre les va a aparecer lo que es eso, que es matemáticas y lectura. Cuando se meten ya después ahí les va a aparecer el tiempo. Digamos que estuvimos en matemáticas, les va a aparecer el tiempo. Es muy importante que tengan 45 minutos, pero lo que ella estaba diciendo es que a veces si su estudiante tal vez trabaja un poco lento y no ha completado las tareas, porque cada tarea tiene su lección, que más o menos como por ejemplo aquí está la lección de álgebra, entonces tenía que haber sido completada para esta fecha y ver si ellos sacaron 100, pues vamos bien, pero digamos sacó un 30%, tal vez usted como padre se debería de sentar con su estudiante y ver si es que no está poniendo atención, solo está apretando, porque esto es diseñado exactamente para su estudiante en lo que ellos necesitan ayuda. Entonces, si no está poniendo atención, le va a afectar para cuando el examen y sus tareas. Entonces, a veces necesitan completar más de 45 minutos, porque si no han terminado las lecciones, típicamente dan 8 lecciones por trimestre. Entonces, si apenas solo lleva 3, pero ya tiene los 45 minutos, entonces todavía le hace falta. Entonces, a veces es recomendable que trabajen un poco más de 45 minutos porque quieren tener las 8 lecciones terminadas para el fin de trimestre y los 45 minutos semanalmente. También lo que está diciendo es que a veces las maestras, ellas mismas también les asignan una tarea. Es muy importante que hagan las tareas que la maestra asignó primero, antes de las tareas que iReady en sí le va a asignar a su estudiante, porque esta es tal vez la maestra es lo que está enseñando en la clase y quieren que le dé la ayuda extra en casa como tarea. Entonces es muy importante completar esa y después iReady, después que termine esa, mismo él le va a tirar otras lecciones para que su estudiante pueda completar y tenga el tiempo y las lecciones completadas que él necesita. Entonces aquí usted puede ir viendo cuando le aprieta Completed Work, ahí le va a salir todas las lecciones que su estudiante ha hecho y le va a salir tal vez un 100, un 70, un 80, tal vez le puede salir un 20%. Usted como padre es su trabajo revisar que él esté completando y que más o menos tenga un 70% para arriba.
Sounds more complicated when you say it. The next is Accelerated Reader, and this is the other really important one. iReady and Accelerated Reader are the 2 programs that if you have a kindergartner or a 5th grader at our school, they're going to use every single week. So Accelerated Reader is a reading incentive program. The students take a STAR test at the beginning of each quarter, and it gives us a reading range. So it might say they're reading at a 2.3 to a 3.5. That just means they're reading somewhere between a 2nd and 3rd grade level. And those are the books that they should be checking out and getting to read for their AR quizzes. So important thing about AR, there are no books on AR. They're going to read the books from either checking them out from the media center, if you have books at home, if they buy them at the book fair, if you take them to the public library, just about any book you pick up now has an AR quiz for it. But after the child has read the book, and again, in upper grade levels, the students are reading on their own. In K and 1, we highly encourage that you are reading with your child. When you're done reading that book, you're going to log on to Accelerated Reader through Clever, click search for books or quizzes, type in the title of that book. So if you read The Giving Tree, you're going to type that in and hit take quiz. Sometimes it'll say vocabulary practice or reading practice. You can do the vocabulary practice with your child, but they don't get points for it. And your child will learn that quickly and they're not going to want to do them. That's okay. Click on the reading practice. It's going to ask them quick comprehension questions. The biggest question we get from parents is, can I help them with this? Because I already were telling you, don't help. Yes, you can help them. The goal is that they become independent readers and they don't need your help anymore. But yes, especially in kindergarten and first, you can help them with this. We want to build their confidence and we want them to enjoy reading. We want them to find books they enjoy reading. They can take AR quizzes for books that they're reading in school, but we want them to be finding books that they like to read on their own, whether that be about monster trucks or something really educational. But again, we want them to be finding things they enjoy reading, and then without you having to tell them to go read a book, they're finding one on their own because they want to read more about that. Just be very careful if they're reading like series like Magic School Bus, Magic Tree House, like the Harry Potter books, any of those series. Be careful when they type them in that they're finding the book that they actually read. So you don't want them taking the Sorcerer's Stone quiz on Harry Potter book. Name one. I need another one. Yes, they will fail the quiz miserably and there's nothing that we can do about it. So make sure that they are clicking on the correct book before they take that quiz. And then when they're done, you can click on progress and you'll see this little rocket and it'll show what their goal is for the end of the quarter and how far they've come. And every time they read and successfully take that quiz and answers the questions correctly, you're going to see that rocket move. Halfway through the quarter, if they've met their goal, they're going to get a grade for it. And then we do freeze pops in the dining room. So on the way to lunch, we'll pass out freeze pops. And then at the end of the quarter, we amp it up to ice cream. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, todavía mira otra página web que usa la tarea para completar la tarea. En esta una pregunta que los padres preguntan, ¿le puedo ayudar a mi hijo en este? En este sí, porque en iWriting no creemos que le ayude, en este sí le pueden ayudar. En lo que es kinder y primer grado, la escuela recomienda que usted como padre se siente y lea el libro con su hijo o hija. Ya los más grandecitos, pues ellos pueden leer solo. El plan de esto es diseñar una idea para que su estudiante quiera ir leyendo poco a poco y ellos se emocionen al leer el libro, pueden tomar un examen. Que van a buscar el libro, les van a poner el título del libro. Aquí tenemos el título de este libro que se llama The Giving Tree. Entonces, cuando lleguen aquí, les va a aparecer esta información, va a estar una práctica de vocabulario. Esto no es necesario que lo tomen, esta es una lectura de práctica. Si quieren, no es necesario. Lo que tienen que tomar es asegurarse que aprieten el quiz, que ahí es el examen para el libro. Entonces, en esto es lo que le van a dar una calificación a sus estudiantes. En lo que ellos van tomando exámenes, aquí va a estar diseñado, por ejemplo, este estudiante necesita 15 puntos para llegar a su meta de su calificación. Entonces, cada vez que ellos van tomando un examen, aquí el rocket va a ir subiendo cada vez y cuando lleguen acá, la escuela, para motivar a los estudiantes al final del trimestre, les damos por ejemplo, una fiesta de ice cream, o les dan paletas o les dan algo para motivar a los estudiantes que completen los puntos que necesitan. Y eso es básicamente todo.
Okay. If you were new to our CSA this year, you attended an orientation and we warned you about STEM projects. So I'm just going to say that first. So STEM projects are done kindergarten through 5th grade, and they're done each quarter. Again, they have a reading, math, and science component. It is not a project that your child is going to successfully complete in one night and turn in quality work the next day. It's going to be something that you want to work on throughout the quarter. That is really important. Don't wait until the last minute. It's going to stress you out. It's going to stress your child out. This is one of those things where we want parent-student collaboration. Try not to kill each other, but work together the best that you can to get these projects done. Again, they start in kindergarten, they go through 5th. The most exciting STEM project comes in quarter 4. At least that's the feedback we got last year, because we do a Shark Tank and then we invite parents in to see the Shark Tank inventions. But anyway, we'll get there by Q4. But there will be a project every quarter. And if you have any questions about the projects, we have the projects over here at a table. And when we're done, you can come ask any questions that you may have. If you haven't received your child's STEM project yet, it's because it's coming home in the Friday folder this week if you did not already receive it. Again, you're going to get that STEM project, and 2 weeks later, your child will lose it. It will be on our CSA Connect. So you don't have to ask the teacher for another one and tell her that your child lost it. Just go to our CSA Connect and it will be there.
You may have to scroll down to the week that it's due. So if you don't see it on the current week, it's due Monday, October 10th. So you would scroll down to that week to find the project.
Antes que todo, para los padres que son nuevos para la escuela, se les advirtió en la orientación que iban a tener un proyecto de STEM. Básicamente es un proyecto que cada trimestre se da en la escuela. Típicamente lo que los padres nos han comentado es que en el cuarto trimestre es el más divertido, porque la escuela lo hace como que su hijo sea un científico y que ellos hacen una investigación. Entonces después invitamos a los padres para que puedan verlo y es algo más divertido. Esto no es algo que lo van a hacer en una sola noche y lo van a entregar al día siguiente. Esto es algo que lleva tiempo. Se vence. Bueno, tienen que entregar la tarea para el lunes 10 de octubre, es cuando se va a entregar el primer proyecto. Si no lo han recibido, se supone que ya lo tienen que haber recibido. Están las mesas allá donde vamos a tener, si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta o duda, les podemos contestar las preguntas. También el viernes en lo que son los Friday Photos, van a recibir otro proyecto. Y si no, tampoco lo reciben en el Friday Photos, su estudiante lo pierde, ustedes como padres lo pierden, o se pierde alguna comunicación. En CSA Connect también va a estar. Lo único que es lo que ella está diciendo es que van a tener que ir a la semana que dice 10 de octubre y ahí va a estar toda la información que necesita para su estudiante completar el proyecto.
So like she said, they can't be accepted late. They're due at the end of the quarter. So teachers have to have grades in. So this is definitely not one our school-wide late policy applies to. If it's late, the quarter is going to be over. So this one's really, 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 really important to get turned in on time. If you have a student and they say, my friend got theirs 2 weeks ago, they're probably not lying. So some students that have accommodations for extended time do receive their projects early. So just to clarify that, some parents are like, I didn't get mine yet. Well, that's because certain students do get extended time because of accommodations that they receive.
Algo muy importante también con esto es que esta tarea sí no se puede entregar tarde. Se tiene que entregar el 10 de octubre, no se puede entregar el 11, se tiene que entregar exactamente cuando se vence. No, la política de la escuela para una semana entregar la tarea tarde no le persigue a esto. Otra cosa que también ella quería compartir para clarificar, hay estudiantes que han recibido el proyecto de antemano, es porque ellos tienen una modificación especial para ese estudiante. Tal vez sus hijos le han comentado, no están mintiendo, pero es porque ese estudiante tiene un plan diferente a su estudiante, entonces lo reciben ellos antes.
Okay. So if you need to schedule a conference with your child's teacher because there is an issue at hand and you're concerned, we have conference week coming up September 19th through 23rd. You will request that conference through Class Dojo. Your child's teachers will be sending out invites for that conference week, but if you want to get on top of it and you want to send a Dojo message to your child's teacher, feel free to do so. If your student is in upper grade levels 3 through 5, those teachers do like to meet as a team because we've found out that if a child is struggling to complete homework in science, they're probably struggling to complete homework in math and reading. So we request that those teachers meet with parents together as a team. And even our kindergarten through second grade teachers, we do request that either one of us be in those conferences or they do meet with another one. We're not trying to gang up on you, I promise. And if you ever have an issue where you need to involve administration, I know I've said this several times and you've probably seen it on Dojo, but administration does not receive Dojo messages.
Una cosa que querían compartir con ustedes es que la semana en septiembre 18 al 23 va a ser la semana de conferencia donde usted, padre, a través de Class Dojo le puede pedir una conferencia a la maestra si usted está preocupado. Típicamente las maestras mandan a invitar a los padres si se quieren reunir, quieren hablar de la educación de su hijo, de su comportamiento. Esta es la semana donde usted puede hacer eso. algo que ya hemos repetido varias veces, administración no recibe ningún mensaje de Class Dojo. Eso es muy importante. Si ustedes quieren que administración esté, le pueden comunicar a la maestra o si ustedes pueden mandarle un correo electrónico a lo que es administración. En lo que es de tercero a quinto grado, ellos recomiendan que estén todas las maestras porque los de tercero a quinto grado, ellos cambian, tienen una maestra de matemáticas, una maestra de ciencia, una maestra de inglés, entonces recomiendan que estén todas las maestras en la reunión. Lo que es kinder a segundo grado, va a estar una de administración en la reunión.
So these are all the important links and contacts for early checkouts, business office appointments, technology appointments. All of this information is in the newsletter, that Rocket Reader newsletter. So again, when you're like, where's the link for that? It's probably in that Rocket Reader newsletter. So at this time we would, oh, sorry.
No se preocupen, yo no me olvido. Estos son todos los contactos, los recursos importantes de la escuela. Aquí están todos los links para si usted quiere sacar su hermano de la escuela. Se necesita hacer una cita con los de la oficina, se necesita comprar uniformes o ayuda a pagar el lunch de su estudiante. Si necesita más ayudas con la tecnología, aquí están todas las citas. Esto también está en el correo electrónico, entonces si no le tomaron foto o pierden, cada vez que manda un correo electrónico a la escuela los sábados en la mañana, ahí va a estar la información. Aquí están todos los correos electrónicos de todas de nosotros, entonces se pueden comunicar con nosotros.
And Miss Nayeli's email, I will add to this. Yeah. Good call. All right, at this time, if you have any general questions, we'd love to answer anything that you have. We've got technology resources, STEM projects, and if you need any translations in Spanish, we have tables set up over here that we're all going to go plant ourselves at, and we can answer individual questions over there as well. But at this time, if you have any general questions, we're happy to take any questions that you have.
Algunas preguntas o dudas, allá tenemos las mesas, yo voy a estar parada allá en una mesa de español para traducirles si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta, y está la mesa de los proyectos y si necesitan más ayuda con la tecnología.
Yes, ma'am. So there is no parent link. There's just the student link with the username and password. So, but speaking of parent link, our CSA Connect does have, you can create the parent account for our CSA Connect. Here's something really important though. If you are trying to submit an assignment, you can't do it from the parent account because assignments are supposed to be submitted from the student account. So that's something really important. So like you had to take that syllabus quiz on our CSA Connect. If you were in your parent account, you couldn't do it. And that's why assignments can only be submitted by the student, and you can help them submit that assignment, but the student has to be logged in.
Ella preguntó que si había una manera que los padres de Clever tuvieran una cuenta. La respuesta es no. CSA Connect sí tiene una cuenta para los padres, pero es muy importante que recuerden que usted como padre no puede entregar tarea desde su cuenta, tiene que ser de la cuenta del estudiante.
Thank you. Did you have a question? So the e-wallet link is, so we don't have to send money with students. But yes, if you are coming the family night, she will swipe your card happily. Yes. I do not believe she takes cash though. I think it's only card. I'll do another Dojo post about that. So as it gets closer. Yes, ma'am.
So kindergarten one had a typo and it originally said September 12th. That is not correct. Every grade level is due October 10th.
Okay, so using the email addresses that we collected when you signed in, I will send this presentation, which also has all kinds of FAQs in it and information about all of the online resources. We won't make you sit through all of that. However, if you have specific questions about any of those, we're happy to answer them. We just don't want to keep everyone for specific questions. Any other general questions? All right. Again, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for your support, and we appreciate it.
Muchas gracias por venir, padres y
Tell
familia.
them to cover their eyes for a second.
Oh,
Lights are going to be turned on, so
But-
watch your eyes. Van a prender
Thank
las
you.
luces, so los ojos.